Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Jake here, and welcome back to another Pokemon Go PvP video. And in today's video, guys, we are going to be asking the question of, is Kangaskhan viable in the Jungle Cup? So, as you guys know, I put up a poll on my YouTube a few days back, and I asked what Pokemon you like to see me cover in terms of spotlights. So I got a lot of responses saying to do Kangaskhan and other pure normal types in this cup. So we're going to be testing out Kangaskhan today against the Jungle Cup meta. So if you guys are new here and you'd like to see a lot more content like this, please don't forget to drop a subscribe, smash that like, and leave a comment down below if you think Kangaskhan is viable in this cup. So to start this video off, we have Kangaskhan in the 0 shield apiece scenario against the top 20 of the Jungle Cup meta. Now, this did cut down. It dropped two picks. I'm not sure which ones exactly, but PvPoke updated their Jungle Cup top meta picks. So we now have 17. I added on 3 extras that would help this explanation of today's video. I'll have a timestamp right here for you guys if you would like to pass on this analysis of Kangaskhan against the meta, and I'll leave a timestamp for when the battles start. So Kangaskhan is a normal type, meaning it will take super effective damage from the fighting moves in this meta. A lot of things like Heracross, Breloom, and Vigoroth will deal super effective quick damage. Kangaskhan, as you can tell, is pretty bulky with a defense of 110 and a stamina of 149, and the optimal moveset with non-legacy is indeed a Mud Slap as the quick move, Crunch as one charge move, and then Power Up Punch is definitely needed as its other charge move. Now, you can run Brick, and Stomp if you do have those legacy, but it's very unlikely because this is a regional Pokemon. And then here we have the 0 shield apiece matchup, and let's see how Kangaskhan does. So it only wins 25% of the matchups, with only a win rate of 5. It loses 14 matchups without shields, and it draws 1. So as you guys can see, very awful rankings there, because so many things in this meta, guys, resist its quick move Mud Slap as well as Power Up Punch. Now, Crunch does deal pretty good damage across the entire meta. It mostly deals for just neutral damage, but it is slightly better with that boosted attack from Power Up Punch. But as you guys can see here, it absolutely dominates all of the electric types, because that Mud Slap will be dealing 4 times super effective damage to the Alolans, being Graveler and Golem, and to the electric steels, being Magneton and Magnezone. Now keep that in mind, guys. Those Mud Slaps will be dealing 4 times super effective damage, as well as Power Up Punch, which not only deals super effective damage to pretty much all the electrics beside Raichu, it also boosts its attack, meaning those Mud Slaps will even do more damage every single hit. So Kangaskhan, as my answer, is viable. It just has a very certain role, and that is to beat the electric types. Now, obviously, you have Venusaur that can do that same role, but better. But that's okay here, because it actually ties with Venomoth. It loses to Beedrill, loses to Victreebel, Scizor, Venusaur, Vigoroth, Wigglytuff, Lantern, Scyther, Masquerain, Breloom, Fortress, Vespiquen, Heracross, and Noctowl. In all of these matchups, guys, those Power Up Punches and Mud Slaps won't be dealing very effective damage. So, to put this into perspective here, Mud Slap against Venomoth is 2 times resisted. Or well, technically it's immune because, or well, no, actually, sorry. Against the part poison bugs, it's neutral, because that ground is super effective to poison, but the bug does resist the ground. So there's that. It is neutral against Victreebel. The Power Up Punches, although, will be resisted. The Crunches will be neutral to anything that is part poison, like Venomoth, like Beedrill, like Victory Bell, and Venusaur. The Mud Slaps against Caesar will also be neutral because it's part steel. The Power Punches will be neutral, and the Crunches will also be neutral. Vigoroth, everything will be neutral except for the Power Punch coming from Kangaskhan, but Mud Slap charges moves so slowly that Vigoroth will already be done with the Kangaskhan by that time. Lantern, it does lose to in the Zero Shield matchup. That's the only electric that it does lose to because it's pure. It's a pure tank, and Power Punch won't be dealing enough damage in that amount of time. It will lose to Scyther because it is immune to those ground moves as well as taking extra reduced damage from Power Punches. Same thing goes for Masquerain. Same thing goes for Vespiquen and Noctowl. Heracross is dealing heavy super effective damage to Kangaskhan, and Kangaskhan has really no chance against any of the fighters. It loses to Fortress as well, even though it's dealing neutral, because Power Punches isn't a high damage dealing move, guys. So, and it's not receiving stab on any of its moves. Yeah, that is the in-depth 0 shields apiece scenario. Let's get into the 1 shield. We do win 8 and we lose 12, so this is a lot better showing. So aside from the obvious guys, aside from the electric wins, we do pick up another win against the Lantern. Well, not another win. We pick up our first win against the Lantern in the 1 shield apiece, and we also do beat Caesar and Venomoth. So definitely some usability here. You could definitely make a team around Kangaskhan. You would just need the counters to Kangaskhan, which again are a lot of the bugs, a lot of the grass, and a lot of the other normal types. It also does lose to Wigglytuff in that 1 shield scenario. So now, guys, we move into the 2 shield apiece scenario. And look at that, it's actually not bad. Even though considering its win-loss ratio is negative, it wins 8, loses 12. It still has a place in the meta, guys. You'd think Kangaskhan would be completely out of it, just because of how many things are resisting or immune to Kangaskhan's Mud Slaps and Power Punches. But it does. It will destroy the electric type, guys. So some Pokemon you could pair around this well would be Noctowl, because one of Kangaskhan's main counters here, as you can see, are Victory Bell, Venusaur, Heracross, Breloom, Masquerain, Vespiquen, and Scyther. And Noctowl easily handles all of those Pokemon. Other things you could run around Kangaskhan would be obviously something like Wigglytuff would be good, although then you'd be weak to Venusaur even more. So I would probably recommend Vespiquen or Beedrill or Venomoth. Those definitely could do well with this team. And as well, you could pair obviously an electric like Magneton or Magnezone to be resisting those grass moves to at least have a better chance against the Venusaur. So yeah, that's my advice on who to pair Kangaskhan with. Either a flyer, a really tanky bug type, or a part steel electric type. Or well, yeah, electric user I should say there. But yeah, guys, that pretty much covers it for Kangaskhan's important matchups in the meta. The main takeaway from this is it destroys the electrics and it loses pretty bad to everything else. So I don't recommend you power it up or give it a double move unless you really want to catch your opponents off guard. If you think they're gonna if you think they're gonna lead electric types, or if they do like leading electric types, then definitely run Kangaskhan. But if you are unsure of what they lead, then I would maybe put him on your team just to make your opponent guess why he's on there. But other than that, I don't think he's really worth it, guys. And we'll see right now in these battles featuring Kangaskhan. Alright, guys, so jumping into our first battle against our opponent EEEE 53, we open Kangaskhan, and he does open that Fortress. And as you guys know, Kangaskhan's best matchups are in the 1 and 2 shield scenarios. So that's why I wanted to lead with him. And this actually isn't too bad of a matchup if he doesn't have Heavy Slam. We do come very close to losing this with Heavy Slam, and we do have to commit both shields here if we want to win this. So I'm just going to commit both shields here for the video, just to see what Kangaskhan can do when it's slightly ramped up. We are going to finish that off, and then he brings in his Vigoroth here. Now this could be dangerous for Vigoroth if not shielded. He does shield though, so that's actually not that bad. We do get switch advantage, and we also burn one shield. So even though we are down a shield, this isn't bad because, again guys, like I said, Vespiquen is a great Pokemon to bring alongside your Kangaskhan, because Vespiquen is a pretty nice wall to Vigoroth. And Vigoroth is one of Kangaskhan's main counters. So right here we're going to swap out into our own Vigoroth, because we really think he has a Venusaur in the back. So we do want to get the extra energy, and look at that. We did guess right in the moment. We thought, we had a weird feeling that Venusaur was in the back. So we are going to undertap here to get this Body Slam off onto the Venusaur. And luckily for us, he decides to use his energy there. I don't think it would have maybe mattered that much in the end, but potentially. Because if he did go for Sludge Bomb, we would have lost there. But luckily, he decided to not farm. Smart on him, because maybe we would have gotten to another Body Slam. But yeah, that gives you a little bit of an idea of how Kangaskhan can do as a lead. Let's get into the next battle. Alright guys, jumping into this next matchup against Quadruple E53. I'm just going to call him Quadruple E from now on, because I don't feel like saying E 4 times. We're going to be opening with our Kangaskhan again. Now, we are up against another Vigoroth, so this is a really bad scenario for us, guys. This is why he's a risky lead. You need to really read your opponent's lineup well, and he decides to not block that first Power Punch. So as you guys can see, it did a decent amount. We can actually tank a Body Slam quite nicely with that Kangaskhan, but we're going to let it go there, guys. Just to show you guys how well it does against Vigoroth in a no-shield scenario. So it doesn't do that bad, because it allows us to bring our own Vigoroth in and then farm his for a ton of energy. And he's going to bring in that Breloom, so that's going to pretty much knock us out in like 3 or 4 counters there. We do burn a shield and do a ton of damage, and right there, he decided to not block. So we're going to immediately go in and deny him a charge move. So his last Pokemon is a Lantern in the back. Now this is a little scary, but we did have some extra energy from farming that Breloom. So we're going to decide to shield this Thunderbolt. And now it's just a race to see if my X-Scissors can kill this thing in time. But remember, he still has that shield. But at this point, it doesn't really matter, because he has to use his energy. Otherwise, he's going to die by my Bug Bites. And yeah, he's left on 1 HP. He has to use his energy. And we have that Vigoroth in the back that we switched out. So, GG's and well played so far. Kangaskhan isn't doing that impressive right now. But yeah, let's get into the next battle. Alright guys, so getting into the next battle, we're going to open it yet again. And he does decide to open with Vigoroth again. So this time we're going to switch out of there immediately into our own Vigoroth. And let's see what he brings in. It's the dang Breloom again, guys. So this is really bad. We do force... I think we actually forced 2 shields here. Did we? Yeah, we did. Now Breloom is definitely a hard counter to my team. But we do have that Breloom in the back. So, and we also burn both shields early. So this is definitely looking really good here. We don't need to block any of that, because as you can see, Grass Knot does barely anything. Maybe about a 5th of my HP, if that. He does get another one off, but we are completely okay with that. We just farmed energy. We know Vigoroth. We know we're resisting Vigoroth's counters ×4. So that is really good. And he decides to bring in that Noctowl, but this is okay because we have that Power Gem charged. And this is debatable here. We thought we were going to get to a Power Gem, but we were like, nah, screw it. We gotta go for that X-Scissor. And then he actually decides to use his Sky Attack here. So that was a big misplay by our opponent, because we have 2 shields and we can ramp up this thing more. So he's going to actually decide to switch in to his Vigoroth. Now, I don't think that was the best move either because there's not much shield pressure coming from Vigoroth in this scenario. Obviously, we have to block those, but we can pretty much, yeah, we actually were able to farm there, guys, and just barely finish that off before we got another body slam, and we finished off the Noctowl with a power punch, guys. So Kangaskhan can definitely do a lot of work, as you guys just saw, even though its mud slaps are immune against Noctowl. Now, keep in mind that was a 2 to no shield scenario, so you know it's debatable if it was really that impressive in that, but it did what I expected it to do there. So guys, jumping into this next battle, this time we're going to be opening Beedrill, and he decides to open Noctowl, so this is really bad for us. We are running a pretty weird lineup right now. We are really weak to the rocks, or the electrics I should say, and he decides to switch into that Vigoroth. So positive matchup for him, but he did not block that for a sky attack. I'm expecting a shield to come up here. It does. So you know we are gonna actually block this body slam, even though we know another one's gonna come soon. We want to either burn his last shield here or finish off that Vigoroth, and he does decide to let it go. So I'm happy here because we got that switch advantage back, but he brings that Noctowl back in. So this is a weird scenario. Definitely an uphill battle. We're going to switch back into this Beedrill to go for the Sludge Bomb. We were going to shield bait initially, but we didn't think he'd block, but he did block. So really bad for us. We're going to just let our Beedrill go down here. And he does have no shields left, so we're going to have to block this. And we hope there's nothing bad in the back, but there is. It is a victory bell, guys. Now this is where Kangaskhan will ultimately struggle. Even though that crunch did a ton of damage, it just doesn't have that DPS that something like Vigoroth has, and it loses to the hard hitters like Victory Bell. So guys, jumping into the final game of this video, we're gonna be opening with our Vespiquen, and he opens with his Fortress. So this I don't think is a positive scenario for us, although it does look like it. But we're gonna switch out there into Noctowl. Now, we predicted this is going to be Heavy Slam, and it is. So we did save a shield there, and he switches into his Wigglytuff. So this is pretty bad for our team. We don't have a counter to Wigglytuff, but he decides to not block that for a sky attack. So that was kind of a blessing for us, because at least now we get it down low enough to where we can farm. And I believe we bring in our Kangaskhan here, just because it can tank these hits slightly better than, well, actually, that's debatable, but we're going to have to block this regardless because it's an Ice Beam. But we built up a good amount of energy here, well, a decent amount, and he brings in that Vigoroth. So I was kind of expecting that. I wanted to burn the last shield here with the Power Up Punch, but those Power Punches really don't do that much damage. I mean, there it did a lot more, and this is where we're going to switch out into our Vespiquen so we can tank the Body Slam. And he decides to switch out back into that Fortress. So this is going to be a really close ending. He decides to not block that Power Gem, so that's good. I think yes, we do commit our shield here. And since we know he has Heavy Slam, we're going to be able to farm this thing down. And he does have one final shield, but we're going to burn that right here with this X-Scissor. And luckily, we just barely eke out one more X-Scissor to take the W there. So overall, those were very good games. Thank you for the battles, Quadruple E53, if you're watching this. I know he has watched some of my videos, but yeah, he was an old Ultra friend from the Go Stadium Discord lobby way back in Season 1 when they started the Palette League. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for today's video. And I hope you guys enjoyed and learned some things about Kangaskhan in this cup. And the real question here I am posing to you guys to answer, and for myself to answer, is Kangaskhan viable? You guys know how Kangaskhan punches like it's throwing mud shots out there? The real question is Kangaskhan viable? And my answer is yes, guys. It is viable. It does have a role. It's just a very off-meta Pokemon. So, doesn't have very many good matchups, but the ones it does have, it will dominate in those. So, yeah, overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this Kangaskhan spotlight video. And I hope I showcased it well or decently in those battles. It was pretty hard to win using a Kangaskhan like that, but it is what it is, guys. Tell me in the comments down below if you're running Kangaskhan, and be sure to smash that subscribe and leave a like on the video. I really appreciate you all for watching, and until the next video, guys, I'll be coming at you with an Electivire spotlight video here in the coming days. But until then, I will talk to you all later. Have a fantastic day, and peace out.